Mom?
Oh, Megan, what's going on?
I'm going to ask you directly. Is it true that you've been mistreating Avery?
Huh? Avery? You mean Jason's Avery, right? Mistreatment? That's not possible.
Oh, I'm not saying you definitely did it. Jason came to me furious, saying Mom's been mistreating my dear wife terribly. He was really upset. What? The kind, gentle woman I know would never do something like that. I can't believe it. That's how I felt when Jason told me. But even if something like mistreatment is happening, I can't just assume it's you without knowing the full story. Maybe there's something going on with Avery, too. I couldn't just ignore the possibility that she has her own issues in the situation. So instead of staying confused and upset, I decided to just ask you directly what happened.
I see. Well, thank you for not just blindly believing Jason's one-sided story.
So, did something happen? It's only been 2 months since you started living together, right? Mom, what happened?
I can't forgive Avery.
You can't forgive her? For you to say something like that, it must be something serious.
She's been throwing away everything that reminds me of your grandparents and your father.
What? She threw away those keepsakes?
Yes, things that belong to your grandparents and your father.
What? Not just one thing, but several items?
Yes, that's right.
Wait, so that includes things like the fountain pen your dad inherited from your grandfather? The one he's always treasured?
Yes. Even though I don't really use the fountain pen anymore, it's a memento I wanted to keep. I kept trying to explain how important it was to me, but she just wouldn't understand. And instead of apologizing or even acknowledging it, she said, "Do you have proof I threw them away?" While I was out working part-time, Avery was alone at home. Almost everything that disappeared during that time has to have been her doing.
So there's no physical evidence to prove it, right?
But despite being a stay-at-home wife, she doesn't help with the housework at all.
Wait, Avery's not working? She asked to live together so she could save up for a house of her own, right? I've heard she doesn't help with the housework, but she's actually calling herself a housewife while doing nothing?
The other day, I couldn't help but say to her, a little sarcastically, "You're great at throwing away other people's memories, but you never do any cleaning." I think that's what Jason's been hearing about, which is why he's so upset.
Wow, seriously? I should hear Avery's side of that story too, but I agree that I should have had solid proof before confronting her. At this point, it's just too much.
Oh, and after dinner tonight, I realized I needed to tell you, but the books you left at my house for safekeeping have all been thrown away as well.
What? I was planning to pick them up when I moved next month.
I guess she thought they were mine because I'd put them in my closet. I never thought she'd go through my closet, so I'm sorry about that.
Well, let's hear Avery's side of things before jumping to conclusions. Avery, good evening. Are you free right now? Oh, Megan. Jason told me that you've been complaining about how your mother's been treating you badly. I'm really wondering what's been going on. Oh, that's right. Can you listen to me for a moment? I don't want to speak badly of your mom, but it's just gotten so bad that I want you to know what's happening right now. What's going on? Well, you know I'm a stay-at-home wife, right? So I've been working really hard at the housework for my in-laws. I even did a big cleaning just the other day, but your mom kept complaining, saying I wasn't doing it properly, but I was doing it. Honestly, I think she's just saying these things because she wants to pick on me. When you say big cleaning, what exactly do you mean? I mostly cleaned out old, ugly stuff that I'd never use and the books that were shoved in boxes in the closet. But even then, she's complaining. Doesn't that just scream mistreatment from her? You have to say something to her. I bet if she knew her own daughter found out, she'd stop acting like this. By the way, did you call a recycling collection service or something for all of it? Huh? In your area, isn't Wednesday for non-burnable trash, Monday and Thursday for burnable trash, and Friday there's no garbage collection? Your big cleaning, based on what Jason was complaining about, must have happened on Friday. And since today is Sunday, that means the garbage collection hasn't come yet, right? Oh. Well, I don't think that's related to the mistreatment, though. Well, I guess not. Never mind. Oh, I just remembered. I was thinking about checking out a flea market app. Huh? I check it out regularly because sometimes I find good things. Right now I'm looking for a fountain pen and some reference books. Oh, I see. About what you just said, I'll talk to my mom first and see what she has to say. Oh, okay, thanks. I really appreciate it. I found several other items being sold from the same account, too.
It was being sold?
Yeah. I thought I should report it to the app administration, so I was just about to do that, but just before I could, the listing got canceled.
Right before?
When I went to the account's main page, it looked like they were in the middle of canceling all the listings. The number kept going down, and in the end, there were no items listed anymore.
Oh, no.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about someone else buying it now. Oh, and I took a screenshot, so I have proof.
That's a relief, but so it was Avery, huh?
Probably. The account name was a name similar to her real name, and the background of the listing photos seemed to be the wallpaper from her house. And then, right when I mentioned that I checked the flea market app regularly and was about to look, the listings got canceled.
I see. So now we just need physical evidence.
Yes, we need to find where the stolen items are now and dig a bit deeper to understand why Avery went as far as to steal and try to sell them.
So what should I do next?
Mom, do you have your part-time job tomorrow morning as usual? If you don't stop anywhere, you can be back in 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, I work from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., so I'll leave the house at 7:30 a.m. and get back at around 12:30 p.m. It'll be the usual schedule.
Can you take the day off suddenly?
It's not a busy period, so I think it'll be fine if I call in the morning and let them know.
If my guess is right...
Do you have a plan?
Well, yeah. Since both you and Jason will be home tonight, it'll be hard to do anything. So after both of you leave for work tomorrow, that'll be when it's our chance.
So tomorrow morning, when Avery will be home alone?
Exactly. So I need you to act like you're going to your part-time job as usual and leave the house. After that, we'll meet up. I'll pick you up at the first corner after you leave. Oh, and I'll rent a car so nobody gets suspicious.
You've really thought this through.
Speed is crucial for these things. All right, that's the plan.
Got it. Megan, good morning. I've just left the house.
Good morning, Mom. I'm already at the corner.
Got it.
Avery, good morning. Megan? Good morning. Is there something you need? Something I need? Oh, that's actually my line, you know. Huh? I thought if anything was going to happen, it would be when my mom and Jason left for work and you'd be alone at home. But I never expected that while your family was out, a strange man would be coming and going into your house. What? I haven't done anything like that. You can come over right now. There's not even a trace of anything like that left. Well, today you were just coming to pick up some things, weren't you? It's just that yesterday was so recent. So I thought you'd skip today's fun in case anyone might suspect something, which I assumed was your reason for skipping. Is that what's going on? Wait a minute. You're imagining all these terrible things about me. I'm not imagining anything, Avery. This is real. How can you be sure of that? Are you planning on helping with the bullying too? I'll go straight to Jason with all of this. Well, your boyfriend was seen coming out of your house carrying stolen items that had been hidden somewhere inside. Huh? My husband restrained him. What? Are you serious? Yes, my husband. Do you remember him? The mixed martial artist? Oh, don't worry. I didn't let him get hurt, and no punches were thrown. Our 6'10" tall, muscle-bound man just gave him a little glare, and the guy immediately confessed everything. He confessed? Wait, what do you mean? He admitted that the stolen items had been cleverly hidden in your room and that the entire thing was about trying to get money for cheating dates and trips with you. It was all about funding those activities. Wait, this can't be true. Also, we've been keeping an eye on your parents' front door, so trying to run away now would be pointless. Keeping an eye on them? Yes, we've had your front door under observation, so even if you try to escape, it won't work. But how did you know about the items? How did you find out about all of this? Plus, we've also identified your flea market app account. You're kidding, right? It's not a joke. We even took a screenshot before you canceled the listings.
How did you find out?
Well, when I was casually talking about checking the flea market, you suddenly rushed to cancel the listings. It was at that exact moment when I happened to catch you in the act of removing them.
But my account doesn't have any proof.
I'm pretty sure one of the items you listed was a fountain pen. That pen, which belonged to my grandfather, was passed down to my father and then to my mother. It's a custom-made, one-of-a-kind item created by the craftsmen of the time.
One of a kind? I don't believe it.
The design is so unique, I knew it immediately when I saw it in the listing photos.
You didn't recognize the brand, but it was that item, wasn't it?
There were also books in the cardboard boxes in my mom's closet. Those were books I had temporarily stored at my parents' house to prepare for my move next month.
Wait, really?
I've read those books so many times that I know every little scratch or stain on them. That's how I recognized them immediately when I saw the pictures you posted of the listings.
Those weren't your mom's things?
No, those were mine. They were temporarily stored at my mom's place while I was preparing for my move, and I was planning to take them with me. That's how I knew for sure when I saw them listed. It was the exact same set.
You didn't even recognize them?
No, and that's not all. I checked with Jason and he confirmed that the account was yours. He found the computer was still logged into it when he looked.
Oh, well, I guess I must have forgotten to log out after using my computer when my phone's battery died while I was listing items. That's when my husband must have found out about it.
Yes, Jason went to work this morning as usual, but I left him a voicemail explaining everything. He said he'd check it in his free time. It's only a matter of time before he knows the entire story.
What is this? This is unreal.
Well, I think it's time we stop this little exchange. We've gone on long enough.
What do you mean, stop this exchange?
The reason I've been dragging out this conversation is that I've been buying time.
Buying time?
Yes, and now that your parents are arriving...
My parents?
Yes, they're here and they'll be taking care of things.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about?
I'm not going to wait. You've had your chance.
Wait, what do you mean?
Now, as I said, your parents are here and they'll be dealing with you shortly.
No, wait, I can explain. I don't know what's going on, but I didn't do anything wrong. Please, listen to me.
Sorry, Avery, but I'm not going to listen. This is done now.
Wait, no, please.
I'm sure you won't be able to run away. I've already made sure of that.
You can't do this.
Sorry, but it's already too late. Your fate is in motion now. We've got the evidence. It's over.
You can't possibly... No, please, just hear me out.
I've already given you the chance to explain yourself, but now it's time for you to face the consequences. There's nothing left for you to say. Your parents are going to be here shortly, and you won't be able to escape.
Please, you can't do this to me. I didn't mean for any of this to happen.
I'm sorry, Avery, but there's no turning back now. Your actions have caught up with you.
Wait, you're not going to tell my parents, are you? Please, I'll do anything. I'll fix everything. Just don't let them know.
It's too late for that. Everything is already set in motion.
Wait, no, please. I'll never do anything like this again, I swear.
I don't want to hear it, Avery. The truth is out now. You've been caught, and there is no way around it. Your parents are going to find out. There's no escaping this.
Wait, no, you can't do this. I beg you, don't tell them. Please, I'm begging you.
I'm afraid it's already done. Goodbye, Avery.
Wait, no, please. I can explain. I really can. Please, just listen to me.
Sorry, Avery, but you've run out of time. My older brother, who had always referred to my sister-in-law as my cute wife in the most affectionate and possessive way possible, had a complete shift in demeanor once he discovered the affair. It wasn't just that he was hurt, but rather that the entire foundation of his trust in her came crashing down. His mood seemed to plummet immediately. You could almost hear the change in his energy. A sound like a sudden exhale or deflation of some inflated balloon. It was as if his emotions had hit rock bottom in an instant. Before this discovery, he was full of life, always glowing when he spoke about his wife, doting on her as if she was the center of his universe. His love for her seemed to be unshakable, and he was so proud of the life they had built together. But the moment the truth about her infidelity came out, everything changed. He didn't scream or yell, but his response was chilling in its calmness. There was a moment of stunned silence, and then, like a flipping switch, he switched into a state of cold, mechanical resolution. The affair was a devastating blow, and instead of wallowing in it, he took decisive action. My brother wasn't one to back down from a challenge, and this situation was no exception. With all the formality and precision one might expect in a business deal, he began the legal proceedings for divorce, filing the papers with a dispassionate determination. His focus was on the future, on what needed to be done, and the emotional fallout was something that had to be dealt with later. He didn't show any signs of seeking revenge or displaying bitterness, but there was an underlying hardness in his approach that told me how deeply wounded he truly was. The divorce and the claim for emotional distress were moving forward without delay. He was going through the motions as though this was just another task that needed to be completed, methodical, efficient, but utterly devoid of the warmth and affection that had once defined their marriage. What was once love was now reduced to legal steps and financial transactions, and that stark reality was evident in every document he signed. The shock of the affair was compounded by an even more troubling revelation: family theft. We learned that my ex-sister-in-law had sold off items from our family's inheritance. These weren't just random objects, they were heirlooms passed down through generations, priceless artifacts that carried memories of our ancestors and symbolized the rich history of our family. To think that these items had just been sold without a second thought, without even a whisper of consultation, was more than just a betrayal of my brother. It was a betrayal of the entire family's legacy. Unfortunately, the law wasn't on our side in this case. When it came to theft within a family, it turned out that there were no criminal penalties that could be applied. The legal system wasn't set up to punish family members for actions like this. It was an incredibly frustrating realization, as we felt this should have been a clear-cut case of criminal activity. But the law saw it differently. Instead, we were left with the option of filing a civil suit for damages, claiming compensation for the lost items that had already been sold. While it was a relief that we could at least take some legal action, it felt inadequate given the gravity of the situation. So my brother proceeded with the civil suit, focusing on the financial losses that had been incurred. But just as we thought we were getting some semblance of closure, something far more disturbing came to light. It wasn't just the affair and the theft, there were other crimes, other wrongdoings that my ex-sister-in-law had been hiding. This wasn't just a simple betrayal, it was a web of deceit that had been carefully constructed and kept hidden from everyone, including my brother. As the investigation continued, more secrets surfaced. The affair was just the beginning. There were debts that she had been hiding, even more significant financial issues that had remained in the shadows. It became clear that she had been playing a dangerous game all along, manipulating everyone around her for her own gain. She had lied, stolen, and betrayed, and it was only when everything began to unravel that the full scope of her actions became apparent. This wasn't just about marriage falling apart, it was about a person who had been deceiving everyone for years, and who now had to face the consequences of her actions. The more we discovered, the more it became clear that this wasn't just a personal failure, it was a criminal failure. In the end, it was revealed that my ex-sister-in-law and her lover had to bear the full weight of their actions. They were both responsible for the debts, the emotional damages, and the financial ruin they had caused. There was no escaping the fallout. They couldn't hide behind lies any longer. Everything they had done was exposed, and they were left to deal with the consequences. As for the compensation claims, it turned out that my ex-sister-in-law's parents had taken on the financial burden. Their daughter had caused the mess, but they were the ones who ended up paying for it. It wasn't clear whether they did it out of guilt, obligation, or some sense of family duty, but they stepped in and covered the costs of the legal proceedings, the alimony, and the compensation for the stolen heirlooms. It was a sad reality, but one that many families find themselves in when their children make poor decisions. My brother didn't ask for his help. He didn't want to be a burden on anyone else. But there was no other option, and so the financial responsibility shifted to the parents of both my ex-sister-in-law and her lover. Meanwhile, my ex-sister-in-law, who had caused so much chaos and heartbreak, was facing a different kind of punishment. The court had ruled that she would be required to work off her debt under strict supervision. She would be made to repay the financial damages she had caused through hard labor. It was a grueling sentence, but it was the only option available to her. She would have to live under constant surveillance, working day in and day out to pay off the debts that had piled up due to her actions. But even with this arrangement, it was clear that her life would never be the same. No amount of hard work could erase the damage she had done. She had ruined her marriage, betrayed her family, and lost the trust of everyone who had ever cared about her. It was unlikely that she would ever be able to rebuild any of those relationships, and even if she worked off her debts, the stain of her actions would forever remain. Her future was now uncertain, and she was left to face the reality of her actions that had sealed her fate. Her lover, too, would have to deal with the consequences. There was no escape for either of them. They had made their choices, and now they would have to live with them. While they might have once imagined a future together, it was clear that they would both struggle to rebuild their lives. The damage was too deep and the wounds too fresh for either of them to heal anytime soon. As for my brother, the emotional toll of the entire situation was something that he would carry with him for the rest of his life. He had once been a man full of love and optimism, but now he was scarred by the betrayal of the person he had trusted most. While the legal proceedings had settled the financial aspects of the case, the emotional scars were something that could never be erased. It was a painful journey, but one that he would have to walk alone. Looking ahead, it was clear that no one involved in this mess would ever truly move on. The betrayal, the theft, and the lies had left a permanent mark on all of us. While some may have hoped for a return to normalcy, the reality was that things could never go back to the way they were. Trust had been shattered, relationships had been broken, and lives had been irreparably changed.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.